Blog Talk Radio. Hello and welcome to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 25. I am your host, Krysti Rosario, here in Los Angeles, joined by my co-host in New York City, Mr. Richard, the boxing prophet Solomon. How are you today, Richard?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to a great show today.
Well, it's going to be a fantastic show, fantastic guests, and later we're going to be joined by our media guest, Mr. Rusty Rubin, all the way in Reno. You can call live at 347-324-5998. Again, live callers, 347-324-5998. Or you can Twitter us at Real Combat Media. My Twitter is at BoxingGirl, BXINGIRL, and the Boxing Prophet is at BoxingProphet68. Facebook us at Real Combat Media in the search bar. And again, live callers, we love you, 347-324-5998. Our topics today will be Wilder versus Liakovic recap, Kavala versus Cleverly, and Geale versus Barker. We're going to preview those fights. And if we have time, because we have a packed show today, we'll talk about the matches on the undercard of Mayweather versus Canelo. That's going to be exciting. And later in the show, we will talk to IBF middleweight champion Daniel Geale, all the way here from Australia, and former WIBF former featherweight champion Deirdre Gogarty. But first, we are going to speak to WBC America's heavyweight champion, 2008 Olympic bronze medalist with no losses, 29 wins by way of knockout, the bronze bomber himself, Mr. Deontay Wilder. You know Deontay?
Bomb Squad!
That's what I was waiting for. Hey, I love it. Thank you. You did not disappoint. Nothing. What do you think, Prophet? We got Deontay Wilder here today.
Best American heavyweight prospect there is. All of his victories coming by knockout. Can't get any better than that.
No, that's right. I know that right. Especially when when you're knocking them out. You know what I mean? It don't get no better than a knockout. You know what I mean? Because that's what people come to see. Especially when they're dealing with the heavyweights. Of course, with the smaller guys, they come.
Deontay, did we lose you?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Prophet, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, I can.
Hear both of you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, good. Okay, you're here.
Okay.
You're here. Good.
Yeah, I'm here.
So you were saying that, you're right. It's nothing better than a heavyweight. Everyone's looking for the great heavyweight champion again, don't you think?
Oh, most definitely. It's nothing like the heavyweights. Like I said before, people come to see the smaller guys to do their thing for speed, power, and with the machine gun hands and stuff. But when you're dealing with the heavyweights, they come to see the big bang, and definitely that's what Deontay Wilder delivered. Bomb Squad.
I know, and what I love is that you are really whenever you talk, you're about your team, you're loyal to your team. It's a team thing. I like that. You don't hear that a lot.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Got to be loyal to the team, man. Because in boxing, you gotta really, you gotta surround the people that you really trust, and the people that I surround myself by are genuinely great guys, and especially my longtime trainer and co-manager JD's, man. he's the type of guy that if I don't succeed in boxing, you know, if I don't make no money, he's there for me. If some tragedy happened to me, he's there for me. And if I still continue, you know, he'll still be there for me through the thick and thin, you know. So you don't find too many people like that, you know, especially in this sport. Most people are looking to get a great guy, find a way to cash him out, get the most of him that he can get in, and that's it. You know, but, you know, I got a great team. I can't complain. God have blessed me with a tremendous team, and I always, as well as I acknowledge God, I always will acknowledge my team. You know, cause we work hard. We work super hard to definitely get where I got. Hey. You hear me?
I hear a lot of. Yeah, are you still in the car?
Yeah, I'm about to get in the car now. It's windy out here.
It is windy. Is that the Alabama wind? Yeah, the famous winds over there?
Yeah, I don't know. Look like a storm about to come through or something. You know, I'm back in the car now though. So
I can hear that. Now you're on your. Is this your third coach with Mark Breland, 1984 gold medalist?
Yeah, Mark is one of my trainers. He's been with me for day one. Been with him for day. Him and JD. So just me, Mark, and Russ Ambers.
Okay, well that's
we got a new guy with us too, which you know he's been in the gym. We just he do a lot of great job with the kids, and we're trying to get them out there to see the pro game and just get them accustomed to the sport of boxing. So because he got a lot of kids that's coming up in the gym, he's he's Jay actually assistant and stuff, and that's Coach Cuz. We call that Coach Cuz. We came around, and if you see my last fight, he's in the back and stuff. So he's been a grateful guy, great guy, man. Great with the kids and just learning the game so he can teach the kids this sweet sport of boxing.
That is important. So you have a great team, and you're right when you say that dedication, loyalty. There's not a lot of loyal people, so when you have them, you got to hold on to them, especially with boxing. So, okay, before we get into what just happened in the pros, I want to just go back a little bit because, I was there with you in the amateurs as a referee and judge, and, you just came out of, nowhere, and what was it, a year and a half later, you became an Olympian, the only male to get an Olympic medal at all, and you got the bronze in 2008. I mean, how did that feel all of a sudden in a year and a half, 2 years, getting a bronze medal in the Olympics?
Well, it's even though it's been ever since 2008, it still haven't really just sunk into me because I feel like my journey as being a fighter, is not complete. It's not complete until I obtain all those belts though. But at the moment, to do a recap on my life as far as boxing concerned, it feels great. It's a great feeling. It's an awesome feeling to represent your country. And I once said before that, I got a glimpse of what it feels like when the military go on in war to represent our country on the battlefield, to protect our country. I kind of got a glimpse of what it feels like just to represent the United States of America. Even though they do a more dangerous job than I. It's just the principle of representing the United States of America. It was a great feeling. It was an awesome feeling. That's why it was so much mixed emotion when we was coming out in the tunnel and they saying representing the United States of America, my home. It was great. It was great. It's a feeling that I wish everybody that's in boxing that's serious about it, that's coming up and the amateurs, could get an opportunity to experience. It's nothing like Olympic experience, where you get to represent your company and fight and try to medal. It's no other experience. It's something that no one can take away from you. Thousands of guys have tried to make the Olympic team, but only a few have made it, and I'm one of those few that just came out of nowhere and made it. And, it makes it even much better because I made the Olympic team in a year and a half. No one in the history of boxing has ever done it as fast, and was the only one to medal when many people doubted me and put me the least guy out of the whole team to medal. But I did have one old man. I had one wise man that said, Deontay, you're going to be the only guy to medal. He told me that. And, you know, when I did, I went back to it. I was like, man, wow, that's crazy you predicted that.
Wow. So where was this man? Was this in Alabama, a friend, or who said this?
Well, no. You want the keys, man? No, he wasn't there. He was in Colorado Springs, Colorado. It was actually I think he's running USA Boxing now with his name is Hal Aduntis.
Oh, Hal Aduntis. He's not the president, but he was the president for USA Boxing. So he's the only one that said that to you. That's pretty interesting.
He was the only one that said that. He told me, so you're gonna be the only one to, because I used to hang with him and stuff, and we used to go to different club spots, as far as like Rotary clubs and stuff, play pool. They had fancy buffets and stuff like that. And I spent a lot of time with him when I was in Colorado. For some reason, I lacked the interest in him. And he liked me, man, like as a son. We used to have a lot of talks, and just him coming up to see me spar when we did spar. And he used to say, Deontay, I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of experienced guys on this team, and got returning Olympians and stuff. But I'm telling you right now, like, you're gonna be the only guy to medal. I know it sounds crazy right now, but you're gonna be the only guy to medal. And it was, and it was a shock to see that came true, and I was glad I could make that prediction happen. That prediction happen for him too as well.
Yeah, Hal Aduntis had a lot of experience with boxing. He's from New Jersey. He also practically seemed to raise Andrew Maynard. Did you spend a lot of time with Andrew as well? Another Olympian, fellow Olympian.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. Bam, baby. That's what Andrew used to always say. Bam, baby, what's up? Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew. The big smile.
Yeah, Andrew, a great guy, man. He was a great guy as well too. I hung out with him whenever he came down as well too. So great guy. One of the few guys that come back and give a support to the amateur system. A lot of guys don't come back and give that love and support back to amateur boxing, but he was one of the guys that did.
You're very true. I mean, that is very true. All these guys need to come back. Rosario and all them. You're correct. Andrew Maynard, who is just another fellow Olympian. Beautiful guy. So what else is going on with you? I mean, I keep hearing a lot of. You're there with us? Or did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. So now we can go to the pros. Here you are, 29, and with 29 knockouts, you just beat, a minute and 43 seconds of the first round last weekend, Sergey Yakovich. Wow. And I know you were quoted as saying that it was a real scary moment. But how do you feel now? You must be pretty elated. Pretty happy.
Oh yes, I'm definitely happy. I'm excited though, because I have became one of the world's talked about heavyweight right now. Just off of that one fight, everything has reversed and turned around for me, and it's crazy right now because I'm getting so much attention right now. And I'm just a laid back guy. I don't care about all the attention and stuff like that. I'm a humble, very laid back guy. And it's crazy right now. I'm the talk of the world. I'm even getting Yahoo trended. The media network is off the chain right now. I'm interviewing all over with different people. I got another interview. Got another interview with another talk with another radio station, and they already calculated 10,000 people. 10,000 people. That's just in the UK, right? That's finna tune in, and it's gonna be about 3:00 that time. By the time the show starts, later on, and people already just to see what I gotta say and stuff like that. And I think that's crazy, man. That's super crazy. So they're excited about this show because they said it's gonna be a great show. Just all the people that's finna about to tune in and stuff, and And I'm just excited. I'm ready for whoever else. Everybody, everybody that fight. People always talking about, this is the task. This is the test. Some people may agree with who I fight. Some may not. But they don't have to worry about it, because every fighter they put up in front of me, I got to get them out of there. So eventually, those that are still doubting, I'm gonna get your favorite fighter sooner or later. Sooner or later, he's gonna step in that ring with me, and I'm gonna crush him too. I take my job seriously. I always said, and I always will say, I take this seriously. I take this seriously, and if you come to fight Deontay Wilder, you definitely better be prepared. You better be in shape. That's for one. A lot of questions people, I still want to see is, does he have a chin and can he go to rounds? And I'm telling you, I'm not the type of guy. I'm not finna just sit in the ring and let a guy punch me in the face so I can prove a point. I'm not gonna do that. They're gonna have to earn it. If they hit me, they earned it. And if you look at my body, you can tell that this body can go whatever round it needs to go. You don't get a body like mine just for nothing. You know what I mean? So I don't care if I don't never go past 4 rounds, at all, because I don't want to be in boxing for long. Really, my passion is acting, and I know boxing is going to open the doors up for that. And I got a goal. I want to be the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world. I want to bring all the belts back to the United States of America. Maybe defend it for a couple of times and try to get out. I know it's easy said, and I done talked to some former champion and said, Deontay, it don't work like that, man. But because just because of the money part of it, it's hard to turn away millions and millions of dollars, and and I can understand where they're coming from. But that's what I want to do. So.
Okay, well, I have a proposition for you. I think, your fellow boxer, she was just in the body issue for ESPN. What do you think about doing something like that, modeling for the body issue in ESPN next year? I think I'd like to put you in for the. What do you think?
Yeah, hey, I could. I did a little modeling back in the. I did a little modeling for Polo Ralph Lauren actually. So I got the little experience of the modeling thing. That if it pays anything that pays well, I'm all for it though. But I like to have different little things coming in from different ways. I wouldn't have no problem doing that.
All right, so you take off your clothes and be like a bronze statue for ESPN body, huh? We'll have to work on that one for you. The bronze bomber.
Sound like you try. Hey, there you go.
So you don't have to worry about any other radio stations. You got it all here, Real Combat Media Boxing Radio, Deontay. They're listening to you. Right. Don't worry. They're listening to you.
Oh, that's
but
right.
What I want to ask you now, there's a lot of trash talk going on with Bryant Jennings, him saying you have his leftovers. What's going on with that?
Well, that was before my fight. We got on the radio station, saying leftovers. It's all funny. Any negativity is good negativity. That's good publicity as well too. The only thing about this situation is, even though it was a leftover, I showed them how to do it in good fashion. It's just like having a woman, man. They say, oh, you got my sloppy seconds, but she keep coming back for more because I did it right the first time. You know what I mean? So I just showed them how to. I just showed them how a heavyweight is supposed to handle business. I handle business. He did this thing with him, but I handle business. So it's a difference. It's a difference between his performance and my performance. So now anybody else that fights him, I can say, well, that's really, I made really sloppy seconds. So but big up Lahovich, man. I appreciate him coming to fight because he definitely came to fight, and somebody had to go. Somebody had to go, and I was the better man that night. My prayers went out to him because it was a scary moment, not only for him but for me as well too. Because I always pray that I don't want to hurt nobody where they can't be able to do what they love to do, or be able to go back. And if boxing is not their main job, go back to their normal job and support their family. Because most of us have kids, man, and I'm a loving father. I love fatherhood, and I never want to harm another man where he can't support his family. So because my heart dropped when I saw him shaking and stuff. They said he was had a concussion and all that, to see his eyes going in the back of his head and stuff like that. That was very scary for me. So my prayers definitely went out to him.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was, you're happy for you, of course, and you're celebrating. And then, that was very scary. Thank goodness he's okay. And I was reading that you said that, and I appreciated that you kind of took a moment and you don't want to hurt someone. And, that leads me to this question. I have a question from Layman Brewster for you. He messaged me.
Okay.
So you know who Layman Brewster is, right?
Yeah, I know who Layman is. The oldest one for the belt. Yeah.
That's right. Layman is a champion, and he's a champion of a person, too. All right. You ready, Deontay?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. I'm going to tell you what Layman wants to know. Well, first he said that first to let you know that he's a big fan and supporter of yours. He admires you because you're very humble, and not to let people try to persuade you to be any other way. Boxing was once considered a gentleman's sport, and I think with his talent and class, that he will restore this definition back to the sport and teach fighters that you don't have to try to intimidate opponents to win. So his question for you is, if you ever feel pressure to try to bring back the title back to the Americas, and then to also tell you that he personally believes that you will bring it home, and to ask if he can get your contact information. He's got his own stuff there.
Yeah, well,
so
you said the first question. You said, did I feel like I'm pressured?
Yeah, do you feel pressured to bring the belt back to the United States?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I think God have blessed me with a tremendous gift to do this. I mean, if you just look at my career, I've done a lot of things. I've broke a lot of records, and I came up, the way I've came up just out of nowhere to do it, it just almost just make you think that God definitely got a place in boxing for me. It's a purpose that I'm doing the things that I'm doing. I'm still undefeated. I'm doing what nobody's never done, knocking everybody out that have been placed in front of me. You just don't hear that every day doing. So that really just made me think that I got a purpose in this sport to do. And I'm a type of guy that I don't panic under pressure. I never have. Even as a young boy, I always stay calm. I always never panicking nothing. And I feel like I carried America on my back as in the Olympics as an amateur. I think I can do. I feel I could do the same. I know I could do the same thing as a professional. I got all the qualities and the requirement of what it takes to be a heavyweight champion. And what I mean by that is saying that to be keep going. My fault. Turn it left. To what I mean by that is that I'm very intelligent. We need a champion that's not only just can fight and knock out people, but I think a good champion consists of intelligence, down to earth, a people's person that can speak very well, that can communicate with people very well, and also a handsome champion. Muhammad Ali always said he was pretty, and I feel I'm pretty too.
You're very pretty. You're very pretty, Deontay. That is a fact. I think you should be in the body book. Yes, you ain't trying
to hit on me, is you? Trying to hit on me?
You know what, Deontay?
And you can tell him he can reach me. He can reach me through my email address, DeontayWilder85@yahoo.com, and we can go from there.
I will definitely, because Layman is doing the 4 Champs promotions with Riddick Bowe and who is it? Riddick Bowe and Chris Bird and himself and other fighters. So you guys may want to talk about that. He's quite a good guy. But you know what? Back to your question. I'm not hitting on you, but you know what? You are great to look at. You got a beautiful smile, and you got this bronze body that should definitely let people look at. So I think not just the men and women that want to see you fight, and you're fantastic, but there's many of us that could just sit there and just look at you, and you speak well. So yeah, I think you got the whole package, Deontay. I hate to say it, but you do.
Girl, did you see when I made? Girl, did you see when I made my chest jump on national television? Did you saw that?
I think I missed that. You're making me a little sweating right here. So can we not talk about that? Maybe the Prophet has a question. Okay, I'll look at that. Prophet, we have a question for Deontay?
Yeah, sure. Just a couple of questions, Deontay. What I admired most about the Lakovic fight was he seemed bone dry when he came into the ring. And I thought to myself, Deontay is going to be all over him. But you were actually composed. You used a lot of jabs, and you set up your beautiful, compact right hand with those jabs. Did you notice that Lakovic was bone dry, and did you make it your business, not to try and, go at him with reckless abandon because you wanted to set up your power punches with the jab?
Oh, most definitely. Everything that I did, and I got to say again, I had a great camp, for this fight. It's probably one of the best camps I'd have had, thus far, as far as us setting it, as far as my own camp. And, the main thing was about this is to be patient and calm. I'm such a more calmer fighter now that, I'm a seasoned pro now. I done learned a lot through a lot of different camps, and I always emphasize on the Klitschko camp because I feel like that was the best camp I ever been to. I set up everything for him. It's a lot of, as people would say, even Emmanuel Stewart said, even when he felt like I was the number one American heavyweight, and even in that he felt like I was fighting low oppositions, but even when they started to step me up, that I would beat them as well too. So I'm just living out that for Emmanuel as well too, because I got so many different things that, as far as capabilities of what I'm capable of in and out of the ring, especially inside the ring, that people have never seen before. People always say, well, I want to see can he go to rounds. And if I do go to rounds, you will see that I'm strong in the 12th round as I'm in the first round, and my skills just improve as the round goes on and on. I'm ready to show that. I'm ready to show that, and I know guys just beginning out there, but, even with the jab, I felt great. Things that we've been working on, my sparring partners has emulated Lakovic to the T, man. They did a great job. I kind of thought he was gonna come out with a different approach, but he surprised me. He came out with another approach or whatever, and that's one of the reasons why I really just don't personally myself study videos, because I know when you're dealing, they say styles make fights, and I know when you're dealing with different fighters that they're going to come with a different approach in fighting you. Everybody's not going to fight this. They're going to still have the same style because, that's their style, but as far as the approach of fighting another fighter is going to be totally different. He didn't come at me like I thought he would, and I think that kind of shocked him that I was faster than they thought I was, and I'm sure he didn't know the power that I packed, man. I tell people all the time, man, my power is crazy. I don't even know the measurement of it myself. One man said, man, this guy do not hit like an average human. He hit like some other kind of something else. But it's been great, and it's just gonna get even better from this point on, because I'm definitely ready to find that guy that can take me to the rounds. And I think after the performance I did by him being a former champion and never been stopped in less than 9 rounds, made a statement also for me, but also made a statement for everybody. That's promotion company, my management way of thinking. They said they are unleashing the beast, and we're definitely unleashing the beast. So here it is. We're expecting even bigger fights, man. And I hope all these guys, step up to the talents. I don't want a fighter that will boast on the radio or get on the social media and I fight him, but then when it's time to negotiate and time to get in contract, I don't want you to try to make it so difficult where the fight won't happen. Make it happen. You talk a big game, let's make it happen. I'm willing to fight anybody in the world, and I mean that. I love this job. I love this job, man. I can't express it enough how much I love this job. So I want to fight the best. I'm willing to fight the best. Just to see where I really am. I know how I am. I know how I train. I train every day. And please come in shape. Please come in shape. Don't have no layoffs or not active not active in the sport and feel like you're gonna come in and just beat me. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. You're gonna definitely have to be active. You're gonna have to be in some damn good shape, if I can say that, to face me, because I'm a type of fighter that if you go up a notch, I'm going up a notch. If you go hard, I'm going harder, and I'm gonna try to put an ER on there. That's gonna make it harder. So you're going to try to have to put the IEST to make it the hardest, but it ain't going to be that because I'm already going to beat you in the level of that. Bomb Squad.
You know what? I think we have a question on the phone. Let me see who's calling. Let's see here. Hello, welcome to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. Who's calling?
Oh, this is Nick Bellafato. Actually, I write a couple articles here and there for Real Combat Media.
Oh, hi. You have a question for Deontay?
Yeah, I sure do, because actually I was on the phone with him the last time he was on, I believe, unless he was on there after that, and I wanted to follow up with him.
Okay, we'll ask him a question.
There's Deontay. You can hear. How you doing, Deontay?
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good. Yeah, I remember when we were on the phone last time, you were talking about your mindset. Well, first of all, congratulations against your most formidable opponent to date. You did what you had to do, and you've opened up a lot of eyes in the process to those who maybe wouldn't have haven't seen before that you're probably the top heavyweight amongst the U.S. heavyweights. And that leads me into my question, is that your mindset last time was, and you said, I want to be the top American heavyweight, and I want to pretty much take out the top American heavyweights, previous to doing anything besides that. Now, I talked to you about, your trainer, Mark Breland. He said, you're ready for anything now. And it looks like that. And being that already, look at one of the Klitschko's, he's got injured. He's going to be out till next year. You got Vladimir will be fighting soon, but I don't know how long these guys are going to hang around. Are you still of the mindset that you got to go through a few more American heavyweights, and if so, who, before maybe you get an opportunity at the Klitschko's, or what's your take on all this?
Well, like I said, to be honest, every day when I'm in the gym, I'm thinking about fighting for a title. That's why I go so hard in the ring. That's my motivation to become the heavyweight champ of the world. So I train like a champion, as if I'm finna fight for the title. So I put my mindset that way because you just never know when your card will be pulled, and I'm on the verge of being prepared. So when it comes, I'm already ready. It's a point where I don't have to get ready because I'm already ready. That's what Mark was emphasizing about, and that's how I am. I feel that I'm not too far away. I feel I'm not too far away, especially from the performance I did, and just the big talk, the big hype that is going on right now about me. I think that even making it even better, that much better for me, and I think just a couple more fights. I'm ready. If Klitschko's said forget it, he's getting a big talk, because he even wants to say if that can be an American heavyweight that got enough big talk behind him, that's who we want to fight. He'll love to fight him. So I think I'm definitely coming around to fulfilling that requirement of what he's looking for. So so if he called today, I would be ready. It wouldn't be a surprise for me. We'll be ready. But if it takes a couple more fights where I have to become a mandatory or anything like that, that's the path we may have to take. So, I'm just sitting on the tip of my toes right now, just letting my team, my management, I'm letting them run the show. I'm letting them line them up. I'm the hit man, and when I'm the hit man, they give me the list and I got to go take them out.
Deontay, you are an awesome guest, and we wish you the best. I want to thank you so much for the interview. Do you have anything to say? You want to put out some Twitter, some Facebook, website?
To all my loving fans, you know how to get in touch with me. The ones that don't know how to get in touch with me, I'm on Twitter, Bronze Bomber. I'm on Facebook, Deontay Wilder. I'm on Instagram, Bronze Bomber. Email DeontayWilder85@yahoo.com. And again, to my fans that have been with me from day one, from the bottom of my heart, I love you guys. Y'all, even though some of y'all guys I can't see or just only on a media network, and I involve myself with you. Some of the things that you tell me, the inspirational words, or even just speaking in existence that I am the next heavyweight champ of the world, it definitely give me motivation. It definitely give me the
thrive and the drive to go in there and perform for you guys each and every night to fulfill that fantasy. Because some of these guys argue with other guys in competition like, he is now, he's here now, Deontay this here, and they take up for me. Some people have even gotten in fights over me, and when I hear about things like this, man, it makes me excited as a heavyweight to fulfill those dreams and prove people wrong. Because one day I'm gonna stand in the middle of the ring with those belts up, and I'm gonna say, I told you so. All that doubted me and all that wasn't sure. And those that's not sure and that is doubting me and is still on the edge and still got that question mark and the questions need to be answered, stay tuned. Stay buckled up, because the roller coaster is definitely is about to start. The movie's about to start. My legacy is about to start. Everything is starting now. So just stay tuned, because there's definitely more to Deontay Wilder.
Stay tuned for the Bronze Bomber. Give us one more Bomb Squad, would you?
Bomb Squad!
I love it. Thank you so much. We will talk to you soon, Deontay. Good luck. All right? Stay tuned. We are going to a commercial now. We'll be back with Daniel Geale.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It, that is ONNIT, on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up, here we go. Let's get this show started.
Welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 25. I am your host, Krysti Rosario, here with the Boxing Prophet. We are live, so call us at 347-324-5998. At Real Combat Media, you can Twitter or at Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL, and at Boxing Prophet 68. Facebook, Real Combat Media in your search bar. I am very excited and happy to say that we have with us the IBF middleweight champion all the way from Australia, Mr. Daniel Geale. How are you?
Hey, yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Daniel, you sound a little exhausted. Are you jet lagged with all these promotional tours that you have to do?
No, it hasn't been too bad. It's been pretty relaxing. Since we've got here, it's just been recovering from the flight and, looking forward to, Saturday night.
That's right, Saturday night. We'll have to tell everyone. I'm sure everybody knows, but you are going to be fighting against Darren Barker. Let's say, Daniel Geale, you have won. Gosh, you are fantastic. 29, only lost once. And then you're all the way over here, and you finally get to fight on here, and what are you thinking? You're having a good time? You're excited?
Yeah, very excited. Yeah, I mean, we've been building up for a while. I've been pushing for a big fight in the US, and the opportunity came up. I've got Gary Shaw working very hard, organising fights for me. My team at the Grange working very hard as well, and I'm excited. We got this big fight with Darren, and we believe it's going to be a fight that people will want to see. It's going to be a very exciting fight, and it's time for me to make a bit of a big statement and come over. And we've chosen a great opponent in Darren Barker as well. So I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be a great night.
You know what I think is really cool is that you went to Germany, correct? And you fought over there a couple of times.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Right, and that you came back victorious. And, not many people can say they did that, especially going to Germany. How did you feel when you were going over the anticipation?
Yeah, well, the first time against Sebastian Silvestre, we weren't given much chance. Nobody expected me to walk away with a title. But, yeah, we weren't there very confident. I knew exactly what I had to do, and, it was great being able to beat Silvestre. I guess the second time we went, people gave us even less chance, going over against a guy like Felix Sturm, who, has defended his title so many times, especially on close decisions. So everybody expected, that I was just going over there to get beaten. And, whether I lost on a close split points decision, I think that's what most people expected. But it was the same deal. We went with confidence. I'm confident when I step into that ring, and I knew exactly what I had to do. The pressure was on. I had a big crowd against me, but I've said plenty of times before that I can have screaming fans with me, or I can have them against me. It doesn't bother me at all. So I knew what I had to do, and it was great to be able to do it.
Well, you've certainly done it, and now you're here now. Did you bring the family with you? I think you have, 3 kids and a wife?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, married with 3 kids. They're on the plane as we speak, so they're heading over. And my wife's very excited. She loves coming to my fights and supporting me, and it'll be great to see my kids straight after the fight as well.
That's wonderful. Well, I hope you're going to make a little vacation after your fight so you guys can just kind of relax. See New York.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. That's what we want to do.
That's fantastic. And I know you don't have a lot of time, and we have a caller, so I want to get a call. Maybe they want to ask you a question. Let's see here.
Okay. Yep.
Hi, this is Krysti with Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. Who's calling? Hello? Did they fall asleep? Maybe they did. Well, let's get our boxing prophet. What do you have to ask for Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel, how are you? How is AC treating you? That's the most important question of all. Are you behaving in Atlantic City, I hope?
Yeah, definitely behaving. At the moment, I've just been keeping very relaxed and, not doing too much, so it's been good.
Okay, Darren Barker, I realized when he fought Sergio Martinez on HBO, he actually gave Sergio a run for his money in the early rounds with his jab and his lateral movement. Did you study that fight, and what did you learn from that fight about Barker's style?
Yeah, well, I have watched Barker, a few times or plenty of times over the years, and he does have great boxing technique. He has good skills, good basic skills, and he's pretty fast as well. So, I suspected he would give Sergio some trouble. I wasn't totally surprised. And I believe he'd make it hard with just about anybody in the world as well. That's the reason pretty much why we wanted this fight. It's going to make a great fight. We've both come from sort of similar backgrounds. The big difference, I believe, though, is I've been in there against a lot of great fighters as well, some big fights, world title fights, and I've got that experience on my side. I know I'm going to have to perform very well on Saturday night, but I'm excited, and I can't wait to do it.
Yeah, you definitely have the edge in terms of your resume and fighters that you have fought and defeated in the past. And I think you alluded to this earlier in the interview with Krysti, but do you feel like a lot of other middleweights are getting hyped up, like Curtis Stevens and Triple G and Peter Quillen? Do you feel like almost like beating Darren Barker isn't enough, that you may have to knock him out or beat him in convincing fashion to get any love from the American press?
Yeah, it'll probably be that way. I've thought about it a little bit, but I'm still going to go out there and do my thing. My goal is to win that fight. Whether we win on points or whether we get the knockout, it doesn't matter as long as I get my hand raised at the end of that fight. I guess these guys, They're getting that recognition because of what they've been doing. They've been successful in that. But I know if I keep working at it and I keep taking these big fights, the opportunities are going to be coming up for me. I know I do have power, and I'm developing more power, and I'm getting better all the time as well. I'm 32 now, but I still feel as hungry as I did, the first time I went to Germany to win my first title. So, I know I've got a lot more to offer, and it is exciting.
And
well, you know what, Prophet. Just first, you have to be quick because this man has lots of things to do, and I don't want to disappoint Mario. So quick.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on,
I just
Prophet.
wanted to say, Krysti knows that I love making predictions, so I just want to tell you that I think you'll win by an easy decision based on the fact that Barker seems to fight only in spots, and you're a volume puncher. You throw punches in bunches, and I basically think at the end of the day, you'll outwork Barker, and you'll win a comfortable decision, 8-4. So I hope you go to sleep at night knowing that the Boxing Prophet has guaranteed a victory for you live on the air on this show.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for that. And, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great fight to watch.
It's going to be a great fight, and we thank you guys so much. Thank you, Mario. Thank you, Daniel, for taking the time. Next time, makes a little more time so we can talk more. But this has been great. Wish you the best of luck.
Definitely will. Excellent. No worries.
Right.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, go have a good fight. We'll be watching you. Take care. We are going to now we're going to go to the commercial, and we'll be back with Rusty Rubin and a little later, Deidre Gogarty. So stay tuned.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Hello and welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. This is episode 25. We just had Deontay Wilder and Daniel Geale. Great. Oh, my God, I'm enjoying the show. Great guests. You can call in live at 347-324-5998. I'm Krysti Rosario, here with Richard the Boxing Prophet Solomon. You can Twitter us at Real Combat Media, or mine is at Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL, or the Prophet at Boxing Prophet 68, or get us on Facebook at Real Combat Media in the search bar. So we are back, and I am joined in just a second. I want to tell you all about this guy. Everyone loves him. His name is Rusty Rubin. He is a sports writer and editor for about 50 years, mostly boxing. He's a member of the Northwest Boxing Hall of Fame, 1995, Boxing Writer of the Year by the IBF, 1993, Boxing Editor of the Year by AAIB. Oh, my gosh, founder of Glove to Glove, which sends out prayers to the boxing family. Currently writes for about half a dozen sites, and he's the author of Billy Sue's The Champion Time Forgot with Tom Donaldson, Woozle, Boxing and Me, and Off the Canvas. The list goes on and on and on. He was the owner and editor of Ring Sports Magazine and ringsports.com, and he's here to talk about a new book coming up, Rusty Rubin. How are you, Rusty?
Hi, Krysti. How's it going over there?
It's good. Did I say your resume right? I did well, didn't I?
Well, you're giving me a swelled head, and that means I'll have to charge you for a doctor bill. But that's okay. I appreciate it. And everybody doesn't love me, I'm sure.
I think many people, everyone, a lot of people were saying, when's Rusty coming on? So, and they're happy that you're here. So we have you, and you've been in boxing for like ever and ever, even though you're only 21, right, Rusty?
You're off by more than 50 years, but that's okay. I was in boxing before I was born, but I just don't remember it.
You're so funny. And you know what's interesting to me is that your new book is not really have anything to do with boxing. I mean, you're writing a book on miracles, aren't you?
Miracles and inspirational stories. We'll take boxing stories. We'll take religious stories. We'll take any miracles or inspirational stories, because the goal of the book is to have all the proceeds go to help find a cure for cancer. And at my age, that's called going out on top.
So that's pretty awesome. I mean, all your books that you've written for, you send proceeds. I mean, you told me all of the proceeds go to cancer?
Yeah, they don't go to cancer. They go to help find a cure for cancer.
Oh,
of
course.
We don't want to promote cancer. We want to promote finding a cure for a disease among us for way too. And it's important to me and to a lot of people who have suffered losses.
Yeah, well, I know, and that's why you wrote a book about your friend, didn't you? Woozle, Boxing and Me.
Well, that was one of the reasons. I wanted to share the laughter, and I would call it unbelievable laughter, because some of the stories in the book are pretty unbelievable. My friend Sue Woozle, we were together as friends for about 25 years, and some of the outrageous things she did, just because it seemed logical to her at the time, on occasion put me in some very precarious situations. She just loved life, and she lived it on her own terms. But colon cancer finally put an end to that at a young age.
Oh, and is that so? When that happened, which is devastating, because that was your ex-girlfriend, wasn't it, as well as one of your best friends?
Well, she was at one time before I met my wife. Yes.
Yes, we love Lois.
Yeah.
We love her. We know she's secure in your relationship, so that's always good.
Well, I don't know how secure she is, but she can't throw things at me anymore because one of her arms is kind of incapacitated. So
oh, God.
I'm lucky. I don't have to duck as much as I usually do.
Well, Rusty, give us an example, of the miracles that you would like for your book, because I know you're asking for people to send you them via email, which we'll give that in a few minutes. Tell us what you're looking for.
Well, we're looking for things that would inspire other people. For instance, I have one of my people who sent me a great story with a guy named Bob Hammer, who had a problem with testicular cancer. He's formed his own charity, so to speak, to raise money for it, and he had a lot of assistance from Lance Armstrong and the Lance Armstrong Foundation. And he's doing great now. He's even had a kid or two, as I recall. So he's doing fantastic. Wow,
well, that's awesome. And so that's the kind of thing, why don't you give an example from what you put in about yourself? Give us a miracle.
Oh. Good Lord. All right, in 1993, I was out playing tennis in September in about 100-degree heat. My wife was told that I was eligible for an executive physical, which wasn't quite true, and we went for it about 2 or 3 days later, both of us. And what happened was they told me if I didn't have 5 bypasses, I'd be dead by the end of the year. and I didn't even know I was sick. And the odd thing about the whole thing was that I wasn't really eligible for it unless they found something wrong. So, they found something wrong and it was covered, but I hate to, I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for that and for my wife's insurance, although that's certainly not why I married her. I didn't know I had a problem at the time.
I'm only laughing that you're so funny, even when you say serious things. We know you didn't marry her for her insurance, Rusty.
Well, how do you know that?
Well, I'm just being nice. Okay, we hope you didn't marry her for her insurance.
Well, the ex-wives can think what they want, Krysti. I'm glad you're on my side.
I'm always on your side. So now let's tell everybody where they can actually send the miracles. I mean, if you want to talk about miracles, it can be anything. I sent in one. For me, was a miracle because What?
Any inspirational stories. They don't have to just be miracles. I'm trying to get as many people as I can, not only to submit the miracles, and I can use their names or not. That they can request either way, and that's fine. But what I'm trying to do essentially is let people know that I'm thinking of cancer patients. I think it's a book that all oncologists, that's the word. All oncologists should keep in their office once it's printed. I think it'll inspire people who have cancer or have relatives who have to deal with the tragedies of cancer. The goal is, of course, to help find a cure. And to me, that's really going out on top. It's, if I could do something, and I probably wouldn't know anything about it, before my time comes, but at least knowing that I've done something to help. And same thing with people who send me the stories. They'll be doing something to help, too. I'm not asking for a dime. I'm not asking for any money. I'm just asking for stories that will help other people.
That's right. And it's at Rusty Rubin at sbcglobal.net. So RUSTYRUBIN at sbcglobal.net. That's correct, right?
That's correct. That's correct, Krysti, and I'll tell you one other thing, if I may, and that is that this Glove to Glove is not just for boxing people. It's a prayer group. It's free. We don't give our names or information about our members. Anybody can join, and anybody can submit a request for prayers. There's no, God doesn't charge, and we sure as heck don't either.
Yeah, but you're talking about G to G, right? Glove to glove?
G to G, glove to glove. I'd like to think we helped a lot of people. We've gotten a lot of prayers, a lot of great stuff for people, and it's really helped a lot. And I'm very proud of that.
You should be. You do so much for everybody, Rusty. You're fantastic.
Krysti, I have been blessed in my life, not with money and not with material things so much, but with the friends I've made, the people I've known. I have to give back. It's something I just feel is necessary.
Well, before we have you,
one of my special friends. So just so you know that.
You're sweet. Thank you. And I feel the same about you and Lois. But before you go, I want you to tell us, because you've been in boxing for so long, who was your favorite fighter? And what was your favorite fight, if you may?
Oh, favorite fighter. Well, that one isn't too hard. Archie Moore was my favorite fighter. Archie would, always go out there and give you 100% every fight, never slacked off. He has a record that will never be broken. And has the most knockouts of any fighter in history. He's got more knockouts to his credit than fighters fight bouts in a lifetime. It just doesn't happen anymore. So Archie would be number one. Best fight, I think the best fight, although it was very controversial, would probably be the De La Hoya Trinidad fight. And I'm saying that because I'm talking about the best fight I've been at ringside or live. So that would probably be the best fight. Although
I actually won money on that fight. That was a good fight. I like that fight. I won my boxing pool on that fight. I was so excited. Love that fight.
You had feelings?
Yes, I did. Of course. Soy Boricua. Tito Trinidad. Oh my God.
You got a miracle decision, Krysti.
I was very lucky.
Well, I tell you, if you took a poll in the press room, I would say 95% of people in the press room had Oscar winning by 1 or 2 points. So, you know, hey, I'm happy for you. I don't gamble on horses. And
no, this was just at home, Rusty. It was just a very private thing with friends, and you pick your name out, and I got lucky. I had Tito for the 12th round, so I just got lucky, even though I love him anyway.
Yeah, Tito was a great fighter, and it was a great fight. I was just a little bit shocked at the decision. I knew it was going to be close, but I didn't think it would be that close. I also thought Hagler Hearns was probably the best other best fight that it was at. 3 rounds of nonstop action.
Another great fight, of course. Yes.
Yeah, Jesus Palace, and that was a fun fight to watch. I've been through a lot.
Rusty, I have the boxing Prophet. I want to see. Prophet, you have a question for Rusty?
I just had a quick comment. You know, first with the De La Hoya, I don't want to delve too much into De La Hoya Trinidad because I was one of the few people that scored that fight 9 rounds to 3 for De La Hoya and thought Trinidad got a gift decision, and it was kind of scandalous for the sport of boxing. It's sort of right up there with Whitaker Chavez is one of the most heinous decisions I ever witnessed as a boxing fan. But I just wanted to say, Rusty, for all you're doing, I lost a grandfather and an uncle, both to colon cancer. So I admire what you're doing in the Jewish religion. It's called a mitzvah, and you're doing a good deed, and God bless you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and all we can do in this lifetime is our very best, and if we could do that, we're doing a good job. And by the way, I thought Oscar won the fight too.
I think a lot of people did, but it was a good fight. It was good and it was competitive. Well, Rusty, do you have anything else you want to say before we go?
No, except that I'm here for, you can check me out on Google or Yahoo. It's just my name, and you can get the information for the sites I still write for from time to time. And you can get the information on Glove to Glove or on how to contact me for the new book. So it's, it's all easy to get to. And the name is easy, 10 letters. 10 letters.
That's right.
And I appreciate you having me on.
We love having you on. So Rusty Rubin at sbcglobal.net. If you have any inspirational stories, any miracles, or if you want to just join the prayer group called Glove to Glove, please get in touch with Rusty Rubin. Rusty, thank you very much. Lovely having you on the show.
Krysti, thank you very much for having me, and God bless you and everybody there. I appreciate the job you're doing.
Well, God bless you, too, and take care. And we're going to go to a commercial. I'll talk to you later, Rusty. Talk to you in just a minute. We'll be back on the show with Deirdre Gogarty.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Hello and welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio, episode 25. I'm your host in Los Angeles, Krysti Rosario, with the Boxing Prophet 3,000 miles away in New York City. You can call us live at 347-324-5998 or Twitter us at Real Combat Media, or my Twitter is BoxingGirl, BXINGIRL, or the Boxing Prophet, Boxing Prophet 68. Find us on Facebook at Real Combat Media in the search bar. So we are back. We have had a great show. I've enjoyed talking to everybody, and we have saved one of the best for last. Very happy. She is the former WIBF featherweight champion, Deirdre Gogarty. Welcome to the show, Deirdre.
Hi, Krysti. Thanks for having me on.
I'm so glad. I mean, I watched your fight with Krysti Martin. I was sitting in a little bar in Mexico, and we were eating tacos, and we were there watching, Frank Bruno and Mike Tyson, and then we had the best surprise and the best fight of the night was you and Krysti Martin. This is March of 1996. So here we are today. I mean, as you know, I'm sorry, say it again?
Say that again?
No, I was just saying that, your fight, especially for me, because I was boxing at that time too, was very momentous, and it meant a lot. And I watched it then, and I was just excited then, but I watched it again today, and wow, I mean, you two, it was a really excellent technical fight. It was fantastic, and Krysti Martin supposedly, and you can tell me if I'm correct or not, had 20 pounds on you. Is that true?
17. Yeah, 17 at the unofficial weigh-in.
Wow. And people don't realize that much weight, I mean, takes a big toll on somebody when you're fighting.
Yeah,
Did you feel
especially in the later rounds. You really feel it in the late rounds.
Yeah, that was amazing because you.
Yeah, it didn't seem like a big deal to give up that much weight to me, because I read about boxing and learned about boxing reading up on Jack Dempsey, and of course, he frequently fought people a lot bigger than him. So I kind of thought it was just something you do, and plus I really couldn't pick and choose who I could fight, so I didn't think twice about the fight when it was offered.
Yeah, we just have to let everyone know that at that time, our pickings weren't that big, so you had to fight. If you wanted to fight, you fought who you were given to.
Exactly, yeah. You never missed an opportunity, not if you wanted to make it all the way.
That's right, and now that's why you left Ireland to come to the United States. Is that correct? Because you didn't have anyone to fight over there. Well, it was illegal, wasn't it?
Right. Well, not only was it really hard to get fights, it was against the law, so it really proved the problem. And I actually did have 3 underground fights. 1 was in Ireland and 2 were in England. But, to really have a proper career, I came to the United States where it was legal.
Yeah, I heard you fought a kickboxer on an underground fight in Ireland. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. That was my first and only fight ever in Ireland.
And then how about the women in London or in England? Were they also kickboxers?
No, it was the same girl. It was Jane Johnson, and she was a conventional boxer.
Ah, okay. And did you ever fight her later on?
No, I just fought her twice and won both times, but I didn't fight her later in my career.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, it's like another thing people don't realize is a lot of times we had to fight maybe the same person a couple of times, take the fights when we could. So here you are now. You came to Louisiana, of all places, an Irish girl going to Louisiana. You trained with a great bunch of trainers. I know I every time I see now Bo Williford, who now, he was your manager and your trainer, or just your manager?
Manager and trainer, and a very tough trainer at that. He you never had to worry about being in shape when you had Bo coaching you, because he was very, very strict and very hard on you.
What would he do?
Well, he just would yell and scream and make you do these horrendous workouts and running. But after a while, he realized I was going to work hard anyway, and he eases up on the ones he knows are going to do the work and don't need to be pushed so hard. But, he was a tough disciplinarian, and that's a good thing.
But with that accent, didn't you ever kind of just want to laugh? I mean, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah, he's hilarious. And sometimes you don't know when he's joking or not, Quite a character. It took me a while to get used to him.
Oh, my God, he loves you, though, every time. And, it only just clicked recently that he was, part of your whole training staff, because every time I would see him throughout the years, and, we're friends through USA Boxing, he would always mention you. Oh, did you know Deidre did this? Did you know Deidre did that? I'm thinking, oh, that's great. He's fantastic. But I was like, okay, that's awesome. And, of course, I got smart, and I'm like, oh, Bo, okay, that's where. And then I'm watching the fight today, and I hear his name. I'm like, oh, Krysti, what a dummy there. So, yeah, he is cool. You have quite the team with Bo. I see that. So I want to talk to you because I was also watching the interview, and I have to give Green Jab a really good they did a great job on the interview with you, and they were talking about your book. Now, your book is My Call to the Ring. Beautiful cover with a little blonde girl on, I guess it looks like a pier. She's standing on the railings, and she has her boxing gloves. What made you? Was it a calling to write this book like it was for boxing?
Yes, because I thought it was important to tell my story, and I had always wished I had read that type of book, or I had access to that kind of material when I was boxing and going through tough times in my life. And, I hoped it would inspire someone, and, if it helped at least one person, it would be worthwhile. And it took 4 years to write and another 2 to get it published. And, I'm glad I've told my story and left it in the world.
Yeah, it is, quite sad because you were, lonely before you came to the United States and found your, what you got to do because you loved. Do you feel like you're complete now that you've accomplished so much in boxing? You're writing a book. Now they're doing a documentary on you. I mean, how do you feel now?
Oh, I feel great now. I went through some really tough times in my career, and a lot of doubts, a lot of frustrations, a lot of loneliness, and something always kept me going. I just was very lucky to have an incredible drive. And I was also inspired a lot by various boxers and my mentors and boxing coaches that, stuck by me through all the hard times. So life is wonderful now, and there's going to be a documentary that will be out late this year or early next year, and it'll be showing on Setanta TV in Ireland, and hopefully we'll get on the internet. And also there's prospects of a film about my life, so we're waiting to see if the funding comes through for that, and so a lot of exciting opportunities.
Now, is it true that you really were at one point, at your lowest point, contemplating suicide?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And it was a terribly low point, and the only thing that really kept me hanging on was the hope of boxing. Some boys had cheered my name in the gym, and it was the first time in my life I'd ever heard someone cheering my name, and it was very inspirational. And when I was at that very low point and thought, I had planned how I would commit suicide, and I thought I was going to go through with it, but I kept thinking of that, and I just wanted to hear it again. And one thing I learned is when you're in that state of mind, your thinking really isn't rational, and you're not thinking clearly. And I actually thought I'd be doing everybody a favor. So it's very strange, very low way of thinking when you're feeling that hopeless. But I'm sure glad I didn't, because I never would have experienced all the wonderful things I have in my life in boxing.
So, wow. Yeah, I mean, people don't realize, because I've often thought, wow, that person is so selfish to leave their family and to commit suicide. But then I've never been that low, like you're saying, and really irrational. So did it take the boys for cheering your name, or what really brought you out and then got to where you are and out of that deep depression?
Well, I just I kept kind of having little mini dreams, like the first dream would be to see the inside of a boxing club, and that came true. The next dream would to be allowed to train in the boxing club, and that came true. And the next one be allowed to spar. So it was all kind of mini steps. You know, I didn't go in dreaming right away of being world champion, although, of course, anybody that pulls on a pair of boxing gloves is going to fantasize about being a world champion. But I'm more focused on one step at a time, because, you know, you have to remember back then it was impossible for women to box. I mean, women just didn't box, and, it seemed so far-fetched and so unrealistic, and everybody told me as much. So I just took it one little step at a time.
Yeah, it's frustrating. People don't realize, I mean, they just put Women's Olympics in 2012. Being an Olympian, like, I never had the dream to go pro, because being an Olympian and getting that gold medal or any medal was always my passion. You know, everyone has that different dream, and it's very heartbreaking when you just have no outlet. You cannot do that. You know, when people say no. It's frustrating.
It is. It's terribly frustrating. And thank God for athletes like you and I, that now we can feel all our efforts were satisfied, so to speak, by the fact that women have those opportunities now, and it really has come full circle. I mean, you don't get any more totally accepted than being in the Olympics. You know, it's the last sport in the Olympics to not have females participate, so it's very satisfying for me to see that now.
Yeah, you are correct. You know, it was the last sport to be participated with women. And now we have 3 weight classes, the 112, 132, and 165. We were hoping for more, and now we're hearing that they may not fight for more, because they would probably have to take a few of the men's weight classes away. So how are you feeling about that?
Well, I mean, I think it's very unfair to take the men's weight classes away. I mean, you know, they should have all the men's weight classes and all the women's weight classes. I don't understand why boxing has to be contained into such a tight agenda. But, you know, I thought the women's boxing was phenomenal in the last Olympics. I thought it was a great milestone. You couldn't have got better competitors, and it was truly the cream of the crop. And it proved that the skill out there and the dedication was extremely high, and no reason not to have it again.
There's no reason not to. And to expand it. And, you know, you're correct. I mean, unfortunately, wrestling, the women only have 4 weight classes. They took women's softball out of the Olympics. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then you put more gymnastics events. You put more swimming events. Come on now. You know, let's be more fair here. But you're talking about the Olympics, and I heard that Katie Taylor, who is the Irish 132-pound Olympian, gold medalist, she sent you a letter when she was 11 years old. Is this true?
Yes, it is. Yes, and I kept the letter. And when I was writing my memoir, of course, I was pulling out a lot of my old materials, and I remembered having the letter from her, but I'd kind of forgotten exactly what it said. And when I read it again, she said that she couldn't see boxing for women taking off in Ireland, and that she was frustrated, you know, seeing the guys she spars winning league championships. And at the end, she said, maybe one day they'll let us box in the Olympics. So I think it's a pretty amazing letter, because, you know, it seems so far-fetched then, and she did it. You know, she stuck with it and stuck through the frustration, and she had tons of talent to do any other sport, but she stuck with boxing and ended up with the gold medal. So I think it's just terrific. And when I read that letter, it just blows my mind, you know.
That blows my mind too. I mean, first of all, she's a nice person. She seems humble, and you know, and she has her father there with her in the corner, her trainer. But it's just amazing to me that this little girl wrote you, and here she is today. And now today, she has Ireland behind her, doesn't she? It's legal now. She's treated well.
Oh yeah, she does, and she's completely brought women's boxing into the mainstream. I mean, people are actually putting their daughters in boxing. You know, that would back in my day were just appalled by it. Just couldn't believe I would do something so barbaric and so unfeminine, and just you know, I was such an unacceptable rebel, so to speak, and I tried to be so careful, not step on anybody's toes and respect everybody else. And I mean, and finally now it's a total 180. So, and I'm very excited because that's the way it should be. I mean, it would be horrible to look at 20 years later and nothing had changed.
That would be horrible and frustrating, that's for sure. And then it's nice to talk to you because when we talk, we do see things that changed, and we can kind of breathe a little easier knowing that, you know, we helped them get there. What did I want to say? First I wanted to congratulate you because I heard that you got married in the ring, boxing ring, with 600 people around you. Congratulations.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was on St. Patrick's Day, and my husband used to box when he was a kid, so when we came, we kind of jokingly said, well, we should just get married at the boxing gym. And the more we thought about it, the more we liked the idea. So we had a boxing announcer announce the vows, and Bo licensed to marry us, and he acted like the referee and gave us instructions, and it was just terrific. It was so much fun and a lot easier than fighting.
That's a lot easier. That's so fun. That's just fantastic. And Rusty Rubin, who was just on the show, wanted me to tell you congratulations.
Great.
He thinks so highly of you, Deidre.
Yeah,
so highly
Rusty was a wonderful supporter back in the day, and he was one of the few magazines that were, he was always posting things about women's boxing and articles, and he was, very radical for his time because a lot of the boxing magazines would kind of ignore it, and he was putting in these big articles and featuring lots of female fighters. So, we appreciate that kind of acknowledgement.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Well, hold on just a second because we have a caller. Let's see if they want to ask you a question. Let's see here. They've been on hold for quite a while. Hi, welcome to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. Who's this?
This is the guy with the accent.
Oh, my gosh. Is this Bo from Louisiana?
I want you to listen to, this is what's happening on the show right now. It's double speaking. Now listen to what it's saying.
Oh, it's double? What is going on
with
that? I don't know. I did. I heard it. That's not good.
It's been doing that since about 3 minutes into Deirdre's interview.
I don't know what's going on there. That is crazy. Well,
I can hear you perfect on my phone. But
hopefully maybe it's your radio, and hopefully when it's played back, we won't hear that.
It's not my computer because it's doing it on another computer too.
Okay, well, after the show, we will definitely put this on iTunes and YouTube, and it will better be correct, or else we're going to make sure it's fixed. Do you have a question for our lovely Deirdre Gogarty?
Yeah, why didn't you come to the gym today?
I had an important interview to do.
But anyhow, I hope you get straight, and it's great to listen to two champions.
Well, see, this is Bo Williford. This is who we were talking about before, the guy, crazy guy that just drove her crazy trying to train her and yell at her and make her a champion. Right here. Well, it's good to have you, Bo. You're fantastic, too, and I'm enjoying talking to Deidre.
My pleasure.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Deidre, so now that we're back here, I just wanted, before I get another question from the Boxing Prophet, I want to just talk a little bit about your documentary. Now, you said the working title is called Girl on the Undercard. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. And the documentary is mostly about my fight with Krysti Morton, which was on the Tyson Bruno undercard. So that's where they kind of get the working title from.
I think that's a great name, Girl on the Undercard. I mean, after that fight, magazines like Ring, Boxing Digest, Sports Illustrated, finally they were putting things about women's boxing, about you and about Krysti.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. That's
exactly.
fantastic.
So it was the breakout fight.
The breakout fight. And, Bo was telling me that they want to, you're into talking to somebody, a company, about maybe doing a documentary on like you said, on your life. Is this separate from Girl on the Undercard?
It'll actually be a film.
Oh, film.
A movie. Yeah, movie, yeah.
Well,
so that is separate, and that would be by, if it works out, Screen Works out of Ireland will do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I want to give, we have the Boxing Prophet on the line, so I want to give him a chance to ask you a question.
Okay.
Come on, Prophet.
It's an honor to have you on the show. You're a real pioneer for the sport of boxing with the female demographics. I recently learned that you became the first female member of the Louisiana State Boxing Commission, and I wanted you to tell the fans how that came about.
Right. Well, I got on the Boxing Commission in 2004, and I served a full 4-year term. And I enjoyed it very much and learned an awful lot. And it was very helpful to know how commissions worked. And, a lot of people have this idea that commissions are kind of, kind of throwing their weight around and telling boxers what to do. But, they really work in the best interest of the boxers and the sport. And it was a real privilege and experience to be on the Louisiana Boxing Commission.
And also, it must make you feel great that many female boxers who are active in the late 90s and early 2000s, including Layla Ali, said that they were originally inspired to try boxing after watching your fight with Krysti Morton. That must make you feel great.
Yeah, it does. It's funny, at the time I was just focused on the fact that I had lost, and I was devastated because I felt I'd gotten my big chance and I blew it and all that stuff. But, in the days and weeks following that fight, there was just so much praise and attention brought to the sport, and it made me realize that, millions of people had never actually seen women box before and didn't even know that they did it and that they could do it to a very high level of skill, and it was just a wonderful boost for women's boxing and a great fight for the fans.
And one last thing, I came across a quote that I read about you in doing my research for the interview, and this pretty much sums up your fighting spirit, and I loved it. I just wanted to read it on the air. It says, I guess I just don't think of it as violent being, of course, the sport of boxing. There's not a victim. Both are on equal terms. And I think that just shows what tremendous fighting spirit you have and your knowledge of the sport of boxing. And I think you're great.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
It looks like we have another call. Let's see who's there. Maybe it's Bo again. Hi, this is Krysti on Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. Who's there? Hello? Oh, they left us. Well, Deirdre, do you have anything that you want to tell us, to say, get out some Twitter, anything?
Oh, well, I just thank you very much for having me, and I'm just really looking forward to the documentary coming out by Loose Horse Productions, and maybe one day a movie. And if you'd like to read my story, my book is My Call to the Ring, and it's available on Amazon.com.
Right, and then the working title for the documentary is Girl on the Undercard. So if you see that,
that's right.
It is an Irish documentary. Do you have any, what is your website? Why don't you tell them that?
It's DeirdreGogarty.com.
Okay, DeirdreGogarty.com. And it's fantastic talking to you. And I hope if you do a film, or when this documentary comes out, we would love you to come back and tell us more about it.
Well, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you having me on.
Well, thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon. We're going to go to a commercial and come back and talk about our topics of the day. Deidre, thank you. Have a wonderful evening, and we will be back.
This is Real Combat Media Radio. Check us out at realcombatmedia.com. While you're there, check out the Feed the Poor link on the bottom of every article, and you can send a donation if you're interested. That is, once again, on the bottom of every article as well as on the top of the website. If you are an MMA, boxing, or fitness business and interested in sponsoring our website or radio podcast, send us an email. Advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Once again, that is advertising at realcombatmedia.com. Make sure to check out the Real Combat Media MMA and boxing store at the top of the menu at realcombatmedia.com. We carry a collection of products. We have the Cardio Mask, which is excellent for all fighters, endurance athletes, and serious fitness enthusiasts. Once you are in the Real Combat Media store, click on the banner on that page. We also carry Alpha Brain. Alpha Brain is a great and natural product which activates your brain's neurotransmitters and helps you think more clearly, which improves brain function. You can also purchase the world's healthiest plant protein, which comes from hemp. There are many other products online on the online store, and click on the On It banner at the Real Combat Media store, and you can purchase Alpha Brain and other health products. Use the discount code Real Combat Media, and you will receive 10% off at the checkout store on the On It. That is ONNIT on the banner at Real Combat Media store. Buckle up. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Welcome back to Real Combat Media Boxing Radio, episode 25. I'm Krysti Rosario here in Los Angeles with the Boxing Prophet in New York City. You can call us live at 347-324-5998. We are now on YouTube. All our broadcasts are on YouTube and iTunes, and we are featured on the front page of the sports on Blog Talk Radio. You can also Twitter us at Real Combat Media, or my Twitter is BoxingGirl, BXINGIRL, and at Boxing Prophet 68. Or go to Facebook in the search bar, Real Combat Media, and you will find us there. It has been a fantastic day of boxing. What do you think, Prophet?
Doesn't get any much better than this. You have the future undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder, the current IBF middleweight champion of the world, Daniel Geale, and Deirdre Gogarty, pioneer of the women's professional boxing. It's been great.
Yep, Deirdre Gogarty. I know, Deirdre Gogarty, very interesting. And our broadcast is fine. I think he had us on a rewind or something, but you just go right after the show. You can go to YouTube, iTunes, or realcombatmedia.com, and you can listen again. And today's news, Vitaly Klitschko will not be fighting in 2013 due to an injured hand. Tavares Cloud versus Adonis Stevenson is confirmed. And Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. is postponing his fight with Brian Vera with a cut. So, oh well, that's that. And what do you want? Did you want to talk about the Wilder Lajkovic, or do you think we covered that already?
No, I think Dante covered it in his interview. I thought he was very composed. I thought Lajkovic sort of looked like a deer in the headlights when he entered the ring. He was bone dry. I thought Deontay would be more aggressive, but he was very, very patient. Let's not forget he didn't start boxing until the advanced age of 21, and despite his unbelievable record of 29-0, all 29 victories, not only coming by knockout, but he hasn't even seen the fifth round yet. He was very composed. He used the jab, which is always great for any fighter, especially a heavyweight. And the knockout speaks for itself. You know, it was violent. Lakovic was convulsing on the canvas. I also think a lot of that had to do with nerves as well as Wilder's power. I think when he hit the deck, he didn't know where he was, and he got all nervous, which led to his body twitching. But, you know, Golden Boy, there are rumors all over the social media now that Golden Boy plans on matching Deontay with the winner of a September 6th fight between Seth Mitchell and Chris Arreola. And I think that would be a great matchup for Deontay. And for what it's worth, I don't think Seth Mitchell's chin can withstand the power of Arreola. So I do believe that Arreola will dispatch Seth Mitchell maybe in the middle rounds, round 7 or 8. And then we could get a really, really good fight between Wilder and Arreola, which would be a very aesthetically crowd-pleasing fight.
Yeah, it would. I know if we had more time, we could talk to Deontay about that, but we shall see. So what do you think about coming up, and I'm going to be very curious to hear what your prophecy is for Sergey Kovalev and Nathan Cleverly?
It's amazing to me that the fight is in Wales. Cleverly's a defending champ, and yet you speak to the odds makers, and they have Kovalev a big favorite. It's basically, I think, you know, not much is known about Cleverly, and his resume is not all that impressive. He fights overseas. It's pretty much the critics are saying they're hand-picked opponents. He hasn't fought anyone with a big name, while Kovalev is on American TV destroying Cornelius the Beat White, destroying Campillo, who previously, before stepping into the ring with Kovalev, was robbed against Tavares Cloud. He embarrassed Tavares Cloud, won 8 out of the 12 rounds on my scorecard, should have been the light heavyweight champion of the world, and the Russian monster, who is Kovalev, destroyed Campillo in 3 one-sided rounds. So it's kind of hard. You know, you asked me today, I might pick Cleverly. You know, then you asked me Friday, I might pick Kovalev, but for the purposes of entertaining the millions of our fans that are listening to this show, I have to say, for the first time in a long time, Krysti, I'm giving in and I'm succumbing to peer pressure. I understand that Kovalev is not as capable and multidimensional as Triple G is, but I'm just not that sold on Cleverly. He's a smart fighter. He's a good boxer. It would behoove him to make the fight go rounds. If I'm Nathan Cleverly, all I do the first 3 or 4 rounds are basically jab and hold. Show some movement, jab, throw punches from angles, and hold. Kovalev might get tired later on in the fight. He's used to scoring brutal, early knockouts. But I think eventually Kovalev is not just your typical puncher. He's not a wild fighter. He's a really terrifying kind of puncher that sets up his knockouts behind some skills. So I originally had picked this fight, I believe it was a couple of weeks ago, where I said that Nathan Cleverly would embarrass Kovalev, win 8 out of the 12 rounds and 9 out of the 12 rounds, and cruise to a unanimous decision, showing the flaws of Kovalev. But I don't know. It seems everyone apparently is on this Kovalev bandwagon, and I don't think it's going to end early. I think Cleverly will have his moments. The only thing is, let's not forget, it's in Cardiff, Wales. So if it goes the distance, they're going to give it to Cleverly. There's no way in the world Kovalev's going to go on the road and win a decision in foreign territory. He's going to have to either score the knockout or knock him down 3 or 4 times to get a decision. My theory, and I hope I'm right, because I hate changing my mind. Usually my instinct is to stick to my first choice, but after studying Kovalev and what I saw of Cleverly, I think Cleverly will be successful early. We'll get off to the early lead. Maybe after 6 rounds of boxing, it'll be 4 rounds to 2 for Cleverly. But Kovalev will go to the body, slowly, systematically wear him down, and the end comes at round 10. He'll land a beautiful, picture-perfect right hand, and Cleverly will fall. And in Cardiff, Wales, we will have a new light heavyweight champion via 10th round knockout, and his name will be Sergey Kovalev. And I guess, in my own unique way, I'm saying, believe the hype. Kovalev is for real.
Sergey Kovalev. Well, you see, the reason Prophet is having such a hard time is because Kovalev has won 21 with 19 knockouts. Cleverly has won 26 with 12 knockouts. Neither one of them have lost. Only Kovalev has a draw. But it's interesting because you have the Russian living in Fort Lauderdale, and then, of course, like you were saying, Cleverly's over there in Wales. So you heard it here. The Prophet says, because he's on the fence, but he says that Kovalev is going to win 10th round TKO. Right, Prophet?
Yes, my original pick was Cleverly by decision, but I just think Kovalev is too strong, too accurate a puncher, and I don't know that Cleverly's chin can withstand his bomb. So for the first time ever on the history of this program, I'm changing my prediction, and I'm going with Kovalev by a come-from-behind 10th round knockout.
Wow. So what does Cleverly have to do then to win this?
Cleverly basically has to use a lot of angles. He's got to box and he's got to move. You know, Campillo and Cornelius White and so many other of Kovalev's opponents stood right in front of Kovalev. They were basically statues. And if you do that, Kovalev is going to destroy you. Nathan Cleverly has the skills. You know, he has the lateral movement. He can punch from angles. He's got a pretty good jab. And he's just got to stick and move. You know, it's boxing 101. And I just don't think he can keep Kovalev off of him for the duration of the fight to win a decision. I don't think it'll be a hard fight to score. I think the rounds where Kovalev wins, he'll land thunderous punches with bad intentions. And the rounds in which Cleverly wins, he'll move around the ring, throw combinations and spurts, use the jab, and do a lot of holding. And I just hope that Cleverly doesn't get too brave in front of his hometown fans and try to make a statement, because I read some articles and some press clippings that said Cleverly not only wants to beat Kovalev, he wants to make a statement and knock him out. I would be absolutely shocked if Cleverly went to war with Kovalev from round one. So it would basically behoove Cleverly to box. I just don't think he can hold Kovalev off of him for long, and eventually it'll become a war in the trenches, and Kovalev will stop him in the 10th round.
Okay, so Nathan Cleverly is 6'1.5", and then you have Kovalev that is 6 foot. So they're both about the same height, just barely. Then the reach, though, you have 74 inches for Cleverly and 72.5 inches for Kovalev. So, like you're saying, if Cleverly can kind of stick and move, you know, you hear that, it's very basic, but a lot of these fighters forget about their jab. If he could use his jab, move, maybe throw a cross, move, and just keep moving, and then just kind of like going to the body, going to the head, don't you think Cleverly maybe has a chance here? Kovalev is going to probably try and use power.
Cleverly does. I mean, he's a good fighter. There's a reason why he's champion. It's just not that much is known about him in the States. You know, a lot of people, a lot of hardcore boxing fans are comparing this fight to Joe Calzaghe against Jeff Lacey. And I don't think that's a fair comparison, because Joe Calzaghe is a first ballot future Hall of Famer, and I don't think Kovalev is as one-dimensional or as slow as Jeff Left Hook Lacey. I think he's got quicker hand speed, and he hits a lot harder than Jeff Lacey. But I don't think, after studying the fight over in my head, I just don't think Nathan Cleverly is that accomplished a boxer to keep Kovalev off of him for 12 rounds. Yes, he'll have moments.
All right, well, let's see.
I just don't think.
All right, well, let's see. We have a call. Let's see what they think. Hi, this is Krysti with Real Combat Media Boxing Radio. Who's this?
This is Stan Kennedy of West Branch, Iowa.
Hi, thanks for the call.
Yeah. I was going to mention that the referee for the fight's going to be Terry O'Connor, who's noted for very quick stoppages. So one thing that might come into play here is if Kovalev so much as slips, he'll wave it off. So that's going to work very much to Cleverly's favor. He's also a favorable ref for him. He won't allow much infighting. So I, too, had picked TKO 10 for Kovalev because I think he's too strong for him. But since I've heard that, I've kind of changed my mind a little bit. I think, like Prophet, I'm kind of changing my opinion that it might be too much of a stacked deck. And I'll go ahead and get his comment on that. And Rich, hey, Krysti, your lunch.
Oh, you hear that, Prophet? I hear that you owe me lunch. He's talking about Tony Thompson and David Price. Remember that?
I remember it all too well, and I like to think I'm a man of my word. So it's just sad that we're separated for you're in California and I'm in New York. But anytime he comes to the Big Apple, lunch is on me. Anyone bold enough to predict Tony Thompson over David Price twice, you've earned my respect.
See, now you got to go to New York to get it. Now you got to go to New York to get it.
I know, but seriously, I have said it's okay. I will just be happy if I can say that I predicted something over the Prophet. I remember saying that, so it's all good. But thank you so much for your question. We appreciate it, and we will hopefully have you call back again soon. So, okay, well, let me see what we need to do. What is the time? I can't believe it's flying by today, Prophet. All right. You want to continue and talk about Daniel Geale and Darren Barker?
Sure. I just can't believe the caller was going to pick Kovalev, and the caller now likes Cleverly, and I went the other route. I thought Cleverly was going to win, and now I'm going with Kovalev. It just goes to show you that this fight is 50-50. It's a very, very tough fight to predict. So I don't want to hear slack from you if Cleverly wins next week. It's a very tough fight. I'm under a lot of stress here, Krysti.
Well, I'm not going either way, so don't worry. And I'm not going to ask you for giving me any meals that people remember, so don't worry. It's okay.
But with Geale against Barker, which is the other fight on the HBO card, I just like Geale easy. Barker showed tremendous heart. He fought well against Sergio Martinez in really his only relevant fight up to date. But he's the kind of fighter who fights in spurts. He does possess good skill, but he's not active enough. And, during the interview, I told Daniel Geale that he will win by a decision, and I think he'll win comfortably, 8-4. He's just a volume puncher. Barker will have success with the jab early, but eventually, for every jab or combination or two punches that Barker lands, Geale will land 5 in return. He's that kind of puncher. He throws punches in bunches. He's known, which is known as being a volume puncher. So I think he'll out-hustle Barker. He'll overcome some rough patches in the early part of the fight and just basically wear Barker down and dominate the last 5 or 6 rounds and win a comfortable unanimous decision to successfully retain his IBF middleweight championship.
Wow, okay. And now what is, so you're going for Daniel Geale. So what does Barker, though, have to do to beat Geale? What would be the strategy that they should have for him?
Barker is kind of a finesse fighter. He was successful in spots, like I said before, against Sergio Martinez, using his jab, using lateral movement, side-to-side, punch from angles. Basically what Cleverly did against Kovalev, or should do against Kovalev, but the problem is Barker didn't do that. He only fought that way in spots against Sergio Martinez. A lot of people, to this day, still tell me they thought Sergio Martinez dominated Barker. and that simply wasn't true. Barker won a lot of those early rounds with his boxing skill. I don't think Geale is as good an overall pure technician as I do Barker is, but Geale is just tougher. I think he'll kind of lure Barker into a street fight as the fight progresses, and he'll just out-hustle him. You know, there's something to be said for throwing more punches and having more steam on your punches. And I think that'll overwhelm Barker. But Barker, in a nutshell, has to box and has to move, and I don't think he can do that for 12 rounds against Daniel Geale. Anyone that can go to Germany and take the title away from Felix Sturm has convinced me that they deserve to be champions. Sturm has gotten a lot of gift decisions in Germany, and Geale basically out-hustled him and took the title from Sturm, and that's what he's going to do in Atlantic City Saturday night against Barker. He's going to overcome some rough patches early, and then just out-will, out-hustle, and out-gut Barker to win probably 8 rounds to 4 and retain his title.
Okay, and you can watch that fight if you're not in Atlantic City. You can watch it on HBO After Dark. We will see. We'll see if Prophet is going to be 2-0 this weekend. Also, if you would like to, don't forget, you can also, if you're in Wales, of course, you can go and watch the fight at the Motorpoint Arena, or hopefully we can try and watch it online. I'm trying to see. Let me see. It is live on Box Nation, Sky Channel 437, Virgin Channel 546. I know I don't have those. Actually, I have Time Warner, which is terrible right now. We don't have CBS or Showtime. Can you believe, Prophet, a cable company would take away CBS and Showtime because they're having fights over money?
It's disgusting. Hopefully that issue will resolve itself. Thank God I don't live in the city. I live on Long Island, so I have cable vision. I don't have Time Warner, but hopefully that situation will get resolved quickly.
If it's not resolved, I'm going to Verizon. I'm telling you, Time Warner, I'm leaving because I need Showtime and I need CBS, okay? So I need CBS for Survivor and Amazing Race, and I need Showtime for the fights. So you better give it back to me ASAP. On the undercard of Kovalev and Cleverly, we have, Gary Buckland puts his British super featherweight title on the line against Stephen Smith. And then we have Ova McKenzie faces Enzo Maccarinelli. Sounds like an Italian. I like it. Maccarinelli in a rematch. So that'll be good. What do you think of those fights?
Well, I'm not sure about those, but there is part of a triple header. I believe Jonathan Romero, who's a Colombian junior featherweight, is taking on Kiko Martinez from Spain, and that'll be part of the HBO triple header. So for that fight, I think it's a showcase for Romero, and I do expect Romero to knock out Kiko Martinez inside of 7 rounds. That fills out the Geale Cleverly triple header on HBO.
Wow. Okay. Well, there's a lot of fights happening this weekend, which is great. But, we just got the final version of the undercard for Mayweather and Canelo. So we have Danny Garcia facing Lucas Matese in a WBA junior welterweight title fight, which should be fantastic. We have Ishe Smith and Carlos Molina. They are the lightweight middleweights. And then we have Ashley Theophane versus Pablo Cesar Cano, who we just saw against Sugar Shane Mosley. How about it? That's going to be a great card, don't you think, Prophet?
It's a very, very solid card. Mayweather does promote Ishe Smith and Ashley Theophane, so it made perfect sense for him to put both of those fights on his card. And they're all very, very competitive fights on paper. All 4 fights are very, very competitive. Like you just said, Cano got robbed against Malignaggi, then fought well against Sugar Shane Mosley, even though he lost. He goes up against Theophane, who back in 2010 lost a very, very close and controversial split decision to Danny Garcia on ESPN. And he also holds a win over Delvin Rodriguez, who will fight Miguel Cotto in the fall. So both of these guys have decent resumes. It's just so tough to call. I'm leaning towards Canelo. That would be my early pick, but this card is so epic, I'm going to wait till the last possible show to make all my picks. And then you have Ishe Smith defending his title against really a hard luck story in Carlos Molina. I mean, he is a guy who has 5 losses and could just as easily be undefeated. Was dominating James Kirkland before he got disqualified. Lost a very, very close and controversial majority decision to Mike Alvarado. Fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. twice and held him to a draw once. I mean, he just can't seem to buy himself a victory against Ishe Smith, who really doesn't have quite the resume that Molina has. But, you know, in his last fight, lifted the title away from K9, Cornelius Bundridge. So I kind of think if the judges get it correct, I would honestly say that Molina should dominate Smith. But I don't know what mental state Carlos Molina is going to be in. I mean, he's been so down and out in certain fights where all boxing fans or most boxing fans thought he appeared to win, and, you know, he lost. Ishe Smith is a late bloomer to the sport, just recently found success with his win over K9. I'm still going to go with Molina. Obviously, all my predictions are subject to change, and you already know how I feel about Matisse against Garcia and Mayweather against Canelo. Those two are going to be great fights. So I just hope that at the end of the night on September 14th that we don't have any controversial scorecards. I just want the better fighter to emerge victorious in all 4 fights, because this is a huge stage for boxing. I'm guaranteeing all the fans out there that are listening to the show that the buy rate is going to be astronomical. I don't think it's going to exceed and break the record by Mayweather de La Hoya, but I do think, and I would be very disappointed if this pay-per-view didn't do at least 1.6 to 1.8 million buys. I think it's going to be a great night for the sport.
Well, now, I forget. I mean, I think you said that you're going with Matisse for that night, right, against Garcia?
Yes, it's the early pick, and like I said earlier, Krysti, I'm under a great deal of stress now with my picks. But my early pick for that is Matisse by a come-from-behind 9th round TKO to lift the belt off of Danny Garcia or away from Danny Garcia. And in the main event, as is boxing, a lot of times on its grandest stage, it kind of gets ugly. I'm not going to say it'll be like Bradley against Pacquiao or Chavez Whittaker or Trinidad de La Hoya, but there will be that one judge that finds a way to give the fight to Canelo. I think you and I will both see it 8 rounds to 4 for Mayweather, but that one judge, De La Hoya, I don't know if it's politically driven, De La Hoya's biggest dream before he retires as a promoter is to give Mayweather his first loss as a pro. And he's just chomping at the bit, waiting for Mayweather to fail and taking all the credit for Mayweather's failure. So I think one of the judges will have it 7-5 for Canelo, and the other 2 judges will have it 8-4 and 7-5, respectively, for Floyd Mayweather as he wins in what some will perceive as a controversial split decision, but hardcore fans like you and me, Krysti, won't want to see a rematch because we'll have Floyd dominating. But either way, Floyd should emerge victorious. Or I hope he does. Put it that way.
Well, De La Hoya versus Mayweather was 2.14 million, and this should break 2 million buys. So, you know, they're doing well, no matter how you look at it. But you know what, Prophet? This has been a great show, and we have to wind it up. Do you have anything that you want to say for next quickly?
I think it's going to be a great weekend of boxing. I love split-site doubleheaders, the Cleverly fight in Wales, the Daniel Geale fight in Atlantic City. It's always great for the sport. and just follow me on Twitter at BoxingProfit68, especially if I'm wrong with the Kovalev Cleverly prediction. I take constructive criticism like a man, and I'm eagerly anticipating next week's show.
All right, Prophet, you have a good day. And I want to tell everyone that you can always call in live at 347-324-5998. You can find us at Real Combat Media on Twitter. My Twitter is Boxing Girl, BXINGIRL. And on Facebook, we are Real Combat Media. We'll be here next week on the 20th, same time, 4 o'clock Pacific and 7 o'clock Eastern. It's been a great show. Thank you, Deontay, Deidre, Daniel, Rusty. Thank you, Sue Fox at WBAN.org. Have a wonderful day. See you next week.